Welcome to the West Ham Voice on a Wednesday evening. Thank you for joining me. I thought I'd do a bit of a roundup because there's been quite a bit of sort of midweek news stuff that's come out over the last couple of days. And of course, we're just under 24 hours away from the second leg of our tie against Freiburg on Thursday with a 5:45 kickoff. So let's start off with that one first because the latest update with regards to ticket sales is that as of 7 p.m. On Wednesday evening, there's just under 11,000 tickets left on sale. Now, of those, the majority, well, all of them really, are in the upper tiers. 10,978 tickets left in the upper tiers, with only 6 tickets left in the lower tiers. So there's going to be a bit of an atmosphere on Thursday, and I'm really quite pleased about that because I think that was one thing that I was a little bit worried about with a 5:45 kickoff. You'd start to sort of ask yourself, are we going to be able to emulate the kind of atmosphere that we generated when we were in this position 2 years ago when we played Seville in the last 16 game, and we were 1-0 down in the second leg at that one as well. So fingers crossed. I'm kind of hoping that we're going to sort of turn up in numbers. It looks like we probably will be. And let's try and get that electric atmosphere going like we had when we played Seville a few years back. That was one of the best moments in the stadium, to be quite honest with you, that I can remember. So fingers crossed with that. So with the place, with a place in the last 8 up for grabs, what about some team news? Well, first of all, Emerson, I talked about him on Monday in the West Ham Weekly Show, and he was there with a little video that he did with Paqueta, trying to get people to buy the tickets. We're told that he's one step closer to potentially being available for the game on Thursday evening. Now, I don't know. I kind of the injury that Paqueta, that Emerson got, seems to suggest that he would need at least 14 days, 7 to 14 days to recover from that injury. It's minor, it's nothing major, but with rest time, etc. If he's got a late fitness test, the one thing that I'm also worried about is that he wouldn't have had any training leading up to this game. So I think it's a big risk. I think West Ham United are going to give him every opportunity to demonstrate whether he's fit or not, but also without having trained as well. It could be a bit of a gamble. And if that backfires, we've got a number of big games coming up. We've got Aston Villa coming up in the Premier League on Sunday. We want to try and, get a good result against them in order to maintain our sort of league position. Because if we lose that, we've got we've got Chelsea, just behind us in the league. And if we don't win that game against Aston Villa on Sunday, and then Chelsea sort of start winning some of their games in hand, they could soon overtake us in the league as well. So it's a bit of a gamble. For me, I think it would be far better if Emerson was given proper time to recuperate, to recover, get some training in as well in order to be available for the game against Aston Villa on Sunday. So I think it's a gamble to play him, even if he does pass a late fitness test. It's something that it's a 50-50. So I'm still not expecting him to actually play, to be quite honest with you. I think Emerson will be rested and prepared to come back for the game against Aston Villa on Sunday. Then we've got Maxwell Cornet, who again had another injury recently. And David Moyes said in his press conference earlier on Wednesday that he's not going to be available for the game against Freiburg on Thursday either. So I don't think we're going to expect to see him. But again, with the options that we have available to us on the bench, I think Cornet coming back and being on the bench against Aston Villa makes us a little bit stronger. He gives us an alternative option. Yes, of course, we've seen Danny Ings sort of rejuvenated after scoring the goal that saw the draw against Burnley at the weekend. So we've got him as an option. But having Cornet as another option playing out on the left is also could be a bonus for us. Do I expect to see Cornet playing much game time against Aston Villa? Probably not. I think with Danny Ings now back, scoring. I think David Moyes has alluded to wanting to use Danny Ings much more. Will we see Danny Ings line up against Freiburg on Thursday? I don't think he'll start. I think David Moyes has got stronger options available to him to start against Freiburg. But certainly Danny Ings coming off the bench and giving him proper game time and not 5 minutes if we need him to, I think is a massive bonus for us. Let's hope that the form that he showed against Burnley is going to continue. A couple of players that look like they've been frozen out, according to reports, are Ben Johnson and Divin Mubama, both who have got going to be out of contract at the end of this season, and both who we've yet to manage to agree new terms on new contracts. Look, West Ham United want both players to stay. I think with regards to Ben Johnson, I actually think if Emerson doesn't play on Thursday against Freiburg, I think Ben Johnson's likely to get the nod ahead of Aaron Cresswell. And I think that's possibly why he wasn't used against Burnley at the weekend. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I'm speculating that if Emerson isn't available, then Johnson will start as a left back. With regards to Divin and Mubama, I think with him, I don't think we'll see him play much between now and the end of the season, to be quite honest with you. But West Ham United do want to keep him. Look, they're both homegrown players. They both come from the academy. David Moyes gets criticised an awful lot for not using academy players. I think West Ham want to keep both players, want to keep Mubama. But if he signs a new deal, I can definitely see him going out on loan next season in order to get some proper game time and then come back hitting the ground running the following season. So let's see. The two contracts are all down to value, salaries. I think Ben Johnson wants something like, it's been rumoured that he wants something like 50 grand a week in order to play. I don't think that's unfair, to be quite honest with you. He's a regular first team player, so it's not it's not bad. It's not out of order him asking for around about £50,000 a week. I think that's quite reasonable. I think most of our other players or several of our other defenders, I think someone like Soufal, etc., are probably on that as well. With Mubama, his agent, as we've talked about in the past, wants more money for him to be a starter or to be in the team. And I don't think at this stage Mubama has demonstrated that he's a 40, £50,000 a week player. Like I said before, most West Ham players who come through the academy, including Ben Johnson, including Declan Rice when he was with us, come on, start as on a £20,000 a week sort of salary base. That's the base. If you start giving players more money when they're just breaking through, then you're going to have other players who are coming through the academy that are going to want to demand the same as the last. I think we had our hands burnt in the past, didn't we, with giving academy players more money than they were kind of worth. So I think it's a shame that Mubama, or his agent, to be more precise, can't agree a deal with West Ham. And there is a likelihood that he could leave. I think, like I said, I think West Ham want both Ben Johnson and Mubama to stay, but there's a good chance that both could be leaving at the end of the season. One player that looks like he's definitely leaving at the end of the season is Nayef Aguerd. We heard earlier on Wednesday that he's got himself a new agent, which immediately suggests to many people that he's going to be looking for a move. Look, to be quite honest with you, the new news is he's got a new agent. The old news is that he wants to leave West Ham United. We've heard it before. We heard it before the January transfer window opened, that Aguerd was not happy. You can speculate and you can make up your own minds as to why he wants to leave. Some people are talking about the reason why he wants to leave is because he doesn't agree with David Moyes' tactics. Other people suggest that he wants to leave because he has to cover too much for Kurt Zouma. That could all be true. I'm not going to say yes, it is or not. But I think also we've also got to consider is Nayef Aguerd is probably not suited to the Premier League. Look, I sang his praises before he joined West Ham United. I remember doing shows on him about his talent, about his positioning. He's a modern day central defender who's capable of carrying the ball out of central defence. His great ability, a great passing range ability, and so on and so forth. But I think he had an okay first season with us. Let's not forget, it took him quite a while to get into the team because of that bad injury that he had in pre-season. And then when he actually got into the team, he looked all right. I thought he looked quite decent. I don't think he's necessarily had a very good second season with West Ham United. I think he's been average at best. There's been games when he just hasn't turned up at all. And there's been very few games where you can actually say he's been man of the match. And when we were in the January transfer window, I said that if we got our money back, if the team came in and offered £30 million for Aguerd, we would have let him go. And I don't think that's changed. I think if a team come in and offer us 30 million, I think he will be sold. Whether he's got a new agent or not is absolutely irrelevant. And it's a shame, but I do think he's more suited to a different type of league, maybe the Spanish league, maybe even the Italian league. One person that is staying, of course, is Tim Steidten. We heard earlier today or yesterday, I can't remember when, that Michael Edwards, who was at Liverpool, has been reappointed in that technical director, director of football role, whatever it's called there, which means that Tim Steidten is actually staying at West Ham United after all the speculation that was about Steidten leaving. And of course, he was going to, of course, if Liverpool came knocking on the door, he was definitely going to leave, etc. Well, Steidten is staying and he can carry on with the project that he has at West Ham United. Now, whether he does that project with David Moyes or not, or another manager, another coach, will remain to be seen. But it's good news that Steidten, there's one certainty that we have for next season is that Steidten is going to be at the helm and he's going to be looking at bringing in more players like the likes of Kudus and Alvarez, etc., and adding to the rather depleted squad that we have at West Ham. So I think that's good news. Like I said, whether it's with David Moyes or not will remain to be seen. Right, let's look forward to the game on Thursday. I will bring you an update on the teams that are left in that we could possibly face should we get through to the last 16. I'll do that on Thursday morning, so do look out for that. Thank you for watching, and do subscribe. Do hit the like button and the bell notification to let you know when I'm next on. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.